My name is Seraphina, the masked lady. I was once human. Since then, I have lived many lives. I have been loved and reviled, adored and despised, been the child of a poor prostitute and a courtesan revered by thousands. When I was a child, a stranger with no face offered me the ability to move between the worlds. Since then, my every death has led to a new life. I once had a true love. He was ripped away from me when I was murdered in the 18th century. I search for him still. In the meantime, I walk in the shadows behind the universe, visiting realms both exquisite and terrible and bringing back stories and rhymes to amaze the mind and enchant the ear. Through my YouTube channel, I send the stories out into the world, hoping that my true love will hear them and reply. Hoping, if he does not, that I will find in the other souls who listen kindred spirits to help ease the pain. What of you, stranger? Did you come here tonight seeking a mystery? Do you hunger for a spark of excitement, for the dark thrill of fear? Will you listen as my tales unfold, knowing that some may very well take on lives of their own? Consider, stranger, whether you have the courage to walk between the worlds with Seraphina, the masked lady. Hello, my darkly delicious darlings, and welcome back to our story-sharing circle. I hope that life has brought you good things this week and that your adventures have all had happy endings. Sadly, things do not always work out as we want. That is the case for the narrator of the following poem, who goes to meet his lover in the woods one night but instead encounters an ancient terror that has stalked the world since before mankind was born. What will he do about it? Will he survive the meeting? Join me, and we will find out. Beneath the moon. We walked beneath the moon, my love and I. Oh Lord, we were so young then and so fair. I was just 17, she 1 year younger. A goddess with bare legs and golden hair. The night was dark and chill in those autumn days, but the moon was a lamp before our feet, guiding us safely through rock and through byre, to the small clearing where we two would meet. She was my love, my lady of the moonlight. Under its bright glow, I first kissed her lips. Later, beneath that alabaster radiance, I swore my love and grasped her fingertips. When the time came, the first for me and for her, our bodies joined beneath Diana's eye. My love cried out in fear, then pain, then pleasure. I held her close and kissed her when she cried. It has been years since we walked under that moon. Barely children, though back then we were sure that we were full-grown, fierce, and all-knowing. That life and time would never teach us more than what we knew in that fair silver sojourn. Now, years have wrought their passage on my face, and woven silver into halcyon hair. It has robbed me of manners and of grace. Life's path also has not been all that we hoped. Plans fall away, and I was not to share the life we promised in our innocent vows, a marriage built with trust and loving care. I did not see her big-bellied with my child, nor held her hand as she gave vent to life. I was robbed of that gift by something wild that found my love and brought unlooked-for strife. It happened on a summer's balmy evening. My dear and I had loved early that morn. She'd kissed me and said that she'd see me that night. I meant to meet her but detained forlorn. I could not leave by the gloaming of the day, but had to lock my shop in the darkness. So the night was deep down before I hurried along the winding path in the forest, towards the grove where my love and I would meet. My darling faithful had come earlier. When she'd found out that I was not there waiting, she did not think that I'd forgotten her. Instead, she trusted I would come when I could, and set her down to wait until I came. She'd brought a blanket, food, candles, and pillows, even a shelter to keep off the rain. So she'd set to work making our place cozy, ready to welcome all that love might do. As time went on, my darling had grown hungry and decided to nibble at the food she'd brought to break our fast. Oh, my poor darling. She could not have known what she would attract. The woods had always been a place of safety. She never thought that she would be attacked. Sadly, she was not the only one abroad. A thing with paws and teeth was passing by. A thing all hunger, swift movement, and desire. A creature that moved by shadow and sigh. It was on the track of a small herd of deer. Young mothers with babies stood by their sides. Its mouth was quick with saliva, heat, and want to carve a juicy meal from out their hides. Its hunger was supreme, burning, eternal, born of a source from nature far apart, driving it on to take, to hurt, and steal life, and thus prolong the beating of its heart. It might have carried on had not the wind changed, and carried to its sniffing nose the scent of my love and her food. He smelled her body, so young and firm, so warm and innocent. And so, while I was walking foolishly smiling, anticipating what I would soon see, the creature, 4 paws, 2 eyes, and long, sharp teeth, raced onwards to steal my poor love from me. The wolfen was a legend to most people, a man bit or cursed for a foul crime, who walked like a man for a part of the month, but become a vast wolf at full moon time. The hunters spoke of them, but I'd never seen a creature like it walking in the wild. 1 or 2 women said that they'd no mothers, who blamed the wolfen for a missing child. If you'd asked me, I'd have called them a story, made to scare babes, no less and still no more. By morning, I would have changed my opinion, but my ignorance always would deplore. The wolfen scented my love. In its dark heart, a twisted, deathly passion flared to life. To glut and tear, to drink the blood of my love, was now the object of the dark night's strife. It came upon her while she dozed, just resting. A flash of darkness, a howl and sharp teeth. She might have died without pain, without knowing, if it had come on her while she did sleep. But my brave love started awake at its howl. She read her fate in the wolfen's red eyes, and, though she knew it fruitless, braced her to fight, to keep the span of breath that we call life. The creature leapt. It drove my love to the ground. Her breath driven from her lungs, my girl gasped. The beast clawed at her, cleaving through her pale flesh. She reached towards the creature's hair and grasped. She wrenched a handful out. The fell beast howled. It forced her down with the snapping of bone. I will never forgive myself for leaving. My darling in the darkness was alone. Yes, she was strong, but even an Amazon, all armor tipped, could not have defeated a being formed entirely to take life. She kicked and bit, and finally, she fled. My love ran swift through wood and brush and byre. She splashed through streams and slid upon their beds. She ran until her heart was close to bursting, but the thing was faster. She fell as dead when struck by the beast, fierce, huge and wild. She struck and struggled, but when all was done, she wept and whimpered like a little child. Left in the dark of the woods all alone, I was walking along the woodland path still, my mind alight with happy thoughts of love, when her sobs came to me upon the night wind, her cries as gentle as a cooing dove. My feet grew wings. I fair flew along the way, bursting through trees, leaping logs in one bound. I did not stumble on a rock or a twig. My legs grew longer, eating up the ground. I came into the clearing, panting loudly, to see the beast's massive head diving for the pale fair throat of my dearest beloved. I roared aloud and leapt across the floor. The beast turned towards me, seeking out new strife. I came in time to thrust its jaws away, and called to my dear love to flee for her life. I blessed the moment she swiftly obeyed, though it left me behind to face in combat the thing of claws, the hairy, sweating beast. It raked me with its claws and then, with one bite, pierced through my exposed shoulder with its teeth. With that one move, the beast destroyed my whole life. You may have guessed that the thing in the dark was not an ordinary wolf out hunting any wild thing on which to make his mark. Such a wolf might have settled for a young doe, But this was a thing dark, ravenous, fleet. Something older, fouler, and wilder by far than base creatures that seek out human meat. Once it had bitten, the creature drew away, and almost seemed to pause while, with my blade, I pierced its heart. It sagged down into the leaves, and finally, it perished where it lay. The moment that its spirit left its furred flesh, the wolf so great and gray became a man. I stood bleeding and staring down at his face. It took ages for me to understand just what had happened to my aching body. A werewolf had just marked me with his bite. Now, he was dead and could never release me. I was forever wedded to the night. So I was damned, twice damned, and then damned again. Though I did not know it, I raised my love up in my arms and took her to the village, carried as close as a hand in a glove. They saw us coming and raised the alarm loud. They took her from my arms to the healer, who tended her hurts, wrapped her up close and warm, and only then looked at my hurt shoulder. As soon as she saw the wound that I had borne, her face turned white, then she turned me away. She cared not that I looked shaky and forlorn. I pleaded, but she would not let me stay. I went to my hut, but large men barred my door. I tried to enter. They knocked me down hard. I lay a moment blinking on the dirt floor, my heart and honor shattered into shards. I got up angry, hurt, almost afraid now. I couldn't understand why they would do what they had, nor why they meant to cast me out of the village, the only home that I knew. I walked into the darkness. I had no clue what I should do or where I had to go. My feet led me on through darkness and the chill air. Paused on the bank to watch a river flow. I thought of all the strange things that had happened. I was glad my love was safely at home, but I was lost under night skies of deep blue. My heart was broken, my spirit alone. I did not change that night. The curse took its time to work its way, burning throughout my blood. But on the next night, when the moonlight struck me, the change came through me like a rolling flood. My body warped. I writhed in pain and horror. My bones extended. Claws burst from my hands. In seconds, I had sprouted fur from my back. I fell. I couldn't my sore joints command. I lay on the leaves, whining in my torment, until the hunger drove me to my feet. Suddenly, I was growling near ravenous, desperate to find something I could eat. I took a deer that night, a pretty young doe. The hunger eased but did not go away. All through the night, I learned how my new body could run and leap. Through the woods, I did stray. I felt some joy to find myself fleet of foot. But still my heart with sorrow soon did crack. For now, I was a creature like the dark one that my dear darling girl tried to attack. At dawn, I was a man again, but I knew I never would be a human more. I would be a horror that all men would fear. A scourge, a terror where I once adored. Where's should I ever look at my beloved? I'd no longer want to draw her to me, but to consume her every shred and feature, until her essence wholly ceased to be. So I took my weapons and packed a small bag, and turned from the only home I had known. I wept to think I was leaving my darling, and that she would be waiting all alone for me to come to her and give her comfort. How long she would wait, I could never say. But finally, when her heart hardened to stone, she'd find new lovers and cast me away. Others would smile at her and hold her tightly. Another would plant his spear by her door, lie down with her and protect her through the night. She'd cleave to him and not think of me more. The thought made me wish to go to the village. I hurried on, my heart in agony. Every part of myself was reaching backwards to the fair girl who was the heart of me. I walked for 13 days until I came to a cave partway up in a mountain range. A clear stream running close to it, the roof low. A hideaway for a creature as strange as what I'd now become. And there I settled. I hunted with my spear when clothed like man, And when the terrible conversion hit me, I roamed the forests and the empty land. It was an existence safe but so lonely that at times I would sneak down to a town, simply to watch women and children playing, although I made quite sure that I had flown before night came. Thus I lived, thus I endured, a creature despised, empty, wild, and strange. But finally, my will sapped, and I returned to the little village from whence I came. There I saw my darling. She had grown old now. Children and grandchildren sat by her side. I saw her husband clinging on to her hand. How he looked on her with love and with pride. I wanted to rip the heart clear from his chest, but could not, for my sweet girl loved him so. I knew that she would grieve if he should leave her, and so I had to let my anger go. I watched for an hour or more until night fell. When she was sleeping, I stood by the side of the fair one who'd given me her passion and her love. I touched her cheek, and she cried. She did not wake. I whispered a soft promise. As long as my cursed life should endure, I would watch over her people and family. I'd protect them until I was no more. We walked beneath the moon, my lover and I. But now beneath the moon, I stalk and prowl. I am the guardian of my tribe. Should you ever walk our woods, you will hear my howl. Poor young man. It must have been so hard for him to lose everything so suddenly. What do you think of how he responded to the transformation? Did he do the right thing by leaving his lover and his people? Should he have stayed with them or perhaps tried to end his life to protect others? I admire his eventual determination to protect his clan, using his monstrous nature to defend the children and grandchildren of his love. Right, I have to leave you now. I am going to a celebration of summer in the flowering woods of air. There will be drinking and dancing and, hopefully, some more storytelling. I am always on the lookout for material for our channel. Have a wonderful week, and if you come across any tales you think are worth sharing with our circle, feel free to email or message me. See you soon!